Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
So hello and welcome to another episode of Twisted and Uncorked. In case you forgot what you were listening to, this is episode 70, which is like crazy.
We're finally out of the 60s, so does that mean we're done rhyming?
No.
Oh, God.
But also, I don't know what... I also don't have anything that rhymes with 70, so I think you're safe.
Okay.
70, yeah, nothing rhymes with 70.
11D.
Oh, okay. 11D. 70, 11D.
You know.
But yeah, it was the 60s. It was our funnest time.
It was the 60s.
It was the 60s. Sierra's like, oh, fuck, we're going to keep rhyming. 71. See, I don't think anything rhymes with that. And it's funny that you say that.
Then we just start rhyming 1, 2, and 3, and 4 again.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But Kevin's birthday was yesterday. If you listened to this last week's episode, you already know that. And he turned 38. And I was like, 38, feeling great. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, Sierra doesn't approve of my rhyming either. And I was like, 29, feeling fine. He's like, what is wrong? Stop it.
Jesse's brother started listening to the podcast backwards. And he's like, what is with this rhyming thing? And I was like, it's new. Don't worry about it. He was like, it's really dumb. And I was like, I know it's really dumb.
But see, we have to balance each other out with like a little bit dumb and a little bit...
to do with the episode.
You know what, Jesse's brother, if you're listening to this, you tell me a better way to intro less awkwardly, and then I'll do that. But it's fun, and yeah, I don't care what anyone thinks. I am my weird self. So, Sierra teamed up with me for a reason. And speaking of weird, do you have a fun fact for me?
I really thought you were going to say, speaking of weird, what the fuck is on your cup? Because I just took a drink of my water.
I thought it was a sticker. What is it? Now that you say that.
It is a sticker.
Okay.
What
does it say?
This.
I thought it was a building. Like a cityscape, the way that the light was sitting in.
Flicking somebody off.
So Sierra's chosen her true feelings about me. F you too.
This is Jesse's cup. Anyway, fun facts.
Yeah, yours was scuzzy last time, so don't do that. Where's your big water bottle?
It's too big for this closet.
Oh, no.
Not really, but I really don't have anywhere to put it when I bring it in here, so. My fun fact is from my quiz book. I'm not going to give you multiple choice, though. I'm just going to see if you know the answer to this, and if not, I'll tell you, and that's the fun fact.
I want multiple choice.
We'll see if you can get it without it first. Okay. The question is, back in the day, the Motion Picture Production Code banned flushing toilets from being seen on the big screen. You weren't allowed to have a flushing toilet in a movie. What? Like, it was taboo. It was disgusting. You can't do that. That's like rated R, you know? But which movie finally broke this censorship taboo and went on to then achieve cult status?
Cult status?
As in, like, a cult classic.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
No, let me give you the multiple choice.
I remember a toilet in that movie.
This is the first one, I guess. Okay, here's your options. A, A Nightmare on Elm Street. B, Blade Runner. C, Psycho. D, Gone with the Wind. E, A Clockwork Orange. Or F, Big Wednesday.
Ooh. Psycho.
Yes.
Yes.
It is Psycho. Put in a little ding, ding, ding there, you know?
I will. Now that we know where to find questionable sound effects.
Oh, my goodness. Guys, I'm pretty sure that people are cutting up humans and recording the sound and sticking it right on the YouTube audio library.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, guys.
Sierra sent me a very questionable Snapchat the other day, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this info now.
It was gross.
It was like, what was it called? Wet leg being cut off?
Wet leg cut off, yeah.
Why was it wet? That's what
I don't know.
I mean, the cut off leg part should be the part that alarms me, but the part that alarms me is the wet part.
Yeah, what does a dry leg cut off sound like? It was I don't know if I left it on for long enough, but it was very wet sounding, and that's what grossed me out. Like
yeah,
it was like gross. Slinging water.
It was like
sounds.
when you like get something stuck and like unstick it. That was it was not good.
I don't know what my face just was, but I had the heebie-jeebies.
The heebs. So my fun fact is not about wet legs being cut off, but it is about moths.
I love moths. If they're
we
men.
love Mothman. Yeah. See, moths to me, like if you squish them, they turn to like dust, and they freak me out.
Why would you squish them?
Like, because they eat my clothes. If they get inside
Just
and I
get
can't
them
trap them and
out.
take them outside, they have to go.
I've never killed a moth.
I know. I feel bad about it now that you've pointed this out because
They're just
I am
like
me, but
they're just like ugly butterflies. You know, I just grab them and take them out.
So when a moth catches a whiff of a female moth, he'll travel miles to find her based on her scent alone.
That's the cutest thing ever.
They experience love at first scent.
That's adorable. When I was in middle school, my first ever favorite, I think it was Edgar Allan Poe. It might not have been, though. Story by a Poet was about a moth who loved the light so much that it would rather touch the light and die than never touch the light. And we had to like think of like what this is a metaphor for, and it's like love. You'd rather love and lost than never have loved at all, you know? Oh, God. Anyway. Little middle school me. P.S. If you guys are wondering where our special episode is for the Haunted Housewives thing that we did, it's coming. They posted it, and then some shit happened, and they had to take down a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to release it soon, just so you know.
Before we get into this week's episode, we have wine. What am I doing with
wine.
my life? I totally forgot how our show works. Today we are drinking Robert Mondavi Sauvignon Blanc. It's been a little bit since we've done one of these. We've done a lot of Pinots and a lot of blends lately.
That's why I found this one. Number one. Number two,
Hopefully
it has
it
a
doesn't taste like
lighthouse
water.
on it.
It does. Oh,
So,
yeah.
if you haven't listened to our last episode.
I actually didn't even clue into that. Yes. Our pal Zandy Schiefer came on and heard about the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers and their mysterious disappearance. So go check that out. Friendly reminder that if you are not a Patreon, that you should become one so that you can see how often Sierra interrupts our recordings to investigate her haunted house lately. She has lived there for approximately 1 month, and I don't like it. I definitely need wine after that. I'm stressed.
Yes,
Sure you
I'm
do too.
sorry. Goodness gracious. Tell me about it.
It is a 2020 Sauvignon Blanc with a lighthouse, and it has notes of grapefruit, peach, lemon, and honeydew melon. And then the back end of it is cucumber, honeysuckle, and sweet vanilla.
The bottle never tells you this much information.
I know. I have to go and look for it.
Yeah. My bottle says, smell, grapefruit and lime. Taste, lemon, melon, herbs. It's like, oh, cool, thanks.
Gives you nothing. But it has fruity aromas. Fruity aromas emanate from the glass. The palate is zesty and bright, and each mouth-watering sip calls for another. I don't know how to feel about that. Felt really
Take a drink,
intimate.
find out.
I already had a glass with my dinner, and it was real good. I'm sorry.
Did you eat grilled shrimp or roasted chicken? Because apparently it
No,
goes well
but
with
I
that.
had pasta.
Pasta.
Did I say that funny too?
You say pasta. That's a
Say it
Canadian
again.
thing, though.
Say it again, though.
Pasta.
Pasta. It doesn't have
Yeah.
an O.
No, it doesn't. What has an A? It's not what. You know?
Guys, I
that's
have
a Canadian thing,
complex
though,
now.
because the Reddit on Wiki guy says pasta, too. So, and he's from Canada. That's a Canadian thing. I'll let it
Guys,
slide.
as long as our podcast goes on, we will find Canadian American things, and you just got to deal with it. But I have a complex now about the way that I say things.
What do you think of the wine?
I think I like it. I can't decide.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
It's kind of blah. I mean, it definitely has taste. It's not like California Roots.
I was gonna say it's not water.
Yeah, it's not water. It tingles.
I think I like the front
Like
end more than I like the back end.
It tingles my lips. I don't like the front end. Well, I don't hate it. The front end is dry.
I feel like the front
but
end
then when
has
you
more
swallow
flavor.
it, it's not dry.
I don't know if it's also because I just had a watermelon White Claw.
I don't know. It's so hard to decide. I feel like it's going to be really good in a sangria. I'll say that much.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
If you have a wine recommendation to share with us, please do. You guys know that by now that we rotate through our wines, but it would be fun to know what you're drinking and want us to try. And before we get into this week's murderless case, we are going to hear a quick promo from Alternative Interests, and we will be right back. So for today's murderless case...
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it going to be an alien story?
No.
Oh. Is your
I did have an alien story, though.
Is
like-
your light bright a UFO?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I was like, she's hinting at something.
No, I was just playing while I was waiting for you when you were
okay.
investigating your haunted ass house. Yes, it is a little UFO. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
I actually did have an alien story drafted, but there's a documentary that's coming out in 2 months that I really want to watch, so I'm gonna wait. But I did have something else in mind. A really cool survival story.
I love these happy endings.
Happy endings, exactly. So, in January of 2000, in York, Pennsylvania, Danielle Keener and Daniel Zapp were on their second date. They went for a walk near Susquehanna River by Danielle's house. So wholesome. Also like Danielle and Daniel. Danielle was 18. She was a college freshman at Susquehanna University. And Daniel was a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University.
Carnegie
Mellon
I think.
University. But why is there the melon in there? That's why
I don't know
was
why there's a
confused.
melon, but I know Carnegie Hall is...
Oh, okay. That probably makes more sense. A mutual friend had introduced the pair, and they clicked instantly. They went on their first date for dinner, and Danielle kept telling her roommate Elizabeth that she couldn't wait to see him again. So cute.
So cute.
On this day, they walked along the river, they were talking, they occasionally would stop and skip some rocks. It was a peaceful evening. While they were walking, a red pickup truck pulled up and stopped near the couple on the river. The driver let out his Rottweiler, and the dog jumped around and, ran and grabbed some sticks, jumped in the water, and they both just kind of stretched their legs. The driver was William Babner, and he made small talk with the couple while they were in the same vicinity. Just to be polite,
You really scared me with let his dog out. I was like, oh no. Oh, he was just playing. Okay.
No, the dog is not what you need to worry about here.
Okay.
After a few minutes, William asked them if they needed a ride home, and the pair declined as they weren't far from Danielle's home. And William got back in his truck with his dog, and they drove away.
Gosh, Will, the walking is the romantic part.
Yeah, God. Then he
be
turned
a
his
cock
truck
block.
around and stopped his truck, blocking the path of the couple.
A literal cock block.
Yes, exactly. As soon as you said that, I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. He got out of his truck holding a gun and demanded that they got into the truck.
It's not funny anymore.
No, but it's fine. You didn't know what was going to happen. Daniel immediately offered up his wallet and his car keys, letting William know that his laptop was in the car nearby, but he was not interested. William told Daniel to get in the cab and told Daniel to get into the flatbed of the truck, but it was covered by a canopy.
Can you just pause for a second and acknowledge the fact that I'm about to cry? Because when you said he told him that his stuff was wherever, the first thing that came through my head was the song Don't Take the Girl. When he's like, oh my God. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm kind of sad that we don't do music for our episodes anymore because of this reason. I feel like we should do that again. Why not? I already love Daniel. So Daniel tried to use his cell phone while he was in the back of the truck to call for help, but unfortunately there wasn't great service where they were. It was also 2000, so like,
Yeah.
cell phones were what they were. William was explaining that he had kidnapped them for ransom and that as soon as he got his money, he would let them go. Danielle already didn't really believe him though, because as soon as they passed her parents' house, she was like, yeah, you're lying. Like, if you were really kidnapping us for ransom, why did you just pass my house?
Did he not even know it was her house?
Probably not, because he's
Okay.
lying.
Yeah.
William drove roughly 12 miles to a remote area by the river, and he told them to walk down the bank while holding his gun on them. The two teens pleaded with him not to hurt them, and that they would do anything if he would just let them go. He was ranting and raving, pacing around. He fired his gun towards the river a few times. He seemed very disorganized, almost like he was panicking. Not sure what to do next, like this was a half-hatched plan. William told them that because that they knew what he looked like, that they couldn't possibly let him go, or that he couldn't possibly let them go.
Oh no.
But then he looked at Danielle and chillingly asked, "You'll do anything?" They turned around and walked back to his truck, and William proceeded to rape Danielle in the cab of the pickup truck.
No.
I know. While Daniel waited in the back, like sitting on the tailgate, he looked up and saw what was happening, and William yelled to him, "Keep your head fucking down." So this poor kid is just, well, I shouldn't say kid, he's 18, is watching his girlfriend and hearing her in like pain, and he's not able to do anything without putting them both at risk.
Oh.
I can't even imagine that level of torment.
Yeah.
After William finished raping Danielle, he once again forced the couple to walk down the bank of the river at gunpoint. Danielle was hopeful that this would be it and that he would be now satisfied, until she saw Daniel drop to the ground. Daniel had been shot in the neck at point blank range and was spitting up blood and choking.
No. This is a murderless story.
Just you wait. Danielle screamed and knelt down beside him, trying to comfort him. She was convinced that he was going to die because of where he was shot, and she was crying, and she was telling him that she loved him. All he was able to get out is, "I have to go now, Danielle."
No.
William then shot Danielle in the leg and then in the face. As they were right along the river, the impact of the two shots caused Danielle to stumble backwards and into the river.
Oh my God.
William then dragged Daniel's body into the river. The impact of the icy water, however, seemed to bring Daniel back to consciousness. He knew exactly what had just happened all of a sudden, but he laid still. Danielle was still conscious as well. He reached for her hand in the water and whispered for her to be still and to quote-unquote play dead, while William watched them in the water as they floated away down the riverbank.
Oh my God.
Eventually, William got back in his pickup truck, and the two heard him drive away. The water was icy, and they were gravely injured. Hold on to your face, Sierra, because you're not going to like this next part.
Oh no.
Danielle's tongue was almost severed, and she was spitting out bits of her teeth from being shot in the face.
Ooh.
I know, I warned you, I'm sorry.
We can take a drink right now. This is serious. Keep going. Get past it. Let me think of something else.
I'm sorry. The two were bleeding profusely, but they held onto each other's hands and tried swimming closer to the shore. A man named Pete Prowl, an unfortunate name, but we're going to ignore it.
Hey, can I just interject with a really unfortunate name?
No!
That it is the most
Is it more
unfortunate
unfortunate than Dick Hyman?
Dick Hyman? I don't know. I don't know. Possibly just for the situational reason I'm going to call it unfortunate. So, in the military, I was what is called a master at arms. It's military police, but in the Navy it's called master at arms. We call it an MA. At one point I was MA3. At one point I was MA4. You know, not 4. 2. It only goes to 3. 1 time 3. Sorry. I'm drunk. Anyway, since it changes all the time, if you're 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, most of the time people just call you MA. And we got shirts for our class, and this guy, it's, you know, mine said MA Zorn. This guy's last name was Lester. And it said M.A. Lester. And his shirt just said molester.
No!
And I could never get over it. I was like, oh, poor guy.
They gotta regulate that. They gotta regulate that. Like, you can't just... No!
Oh, goodness.
That poor man.
So... Other than that and Dick Hyman, we cannot say anything else is unfortunate, okay? It does not compete.
Pete Prowl is okay?
It is now. It's not molester.
It's true. That is true. So yes, Pete Prowl was sitting in his truck along the river. He's not a molester. And he had been out hunting that day. He was just about to pack up and leave, but he happened to look upstream and saw 2 objects floating down. When he got closer, he realized that they were people and ran down to the water.
Ugh.
He ran into the water and grabbed Dan's hand, pulling them both to shore, because they were holding hands.
Pete is the real MVP.
He is the real MVP. He saw that they were both shot in the head and that they couldn't talk, but he knew that they needed help. He ran back to the road and flagged down a passing car, instructing them to head into town and call for help. Where they were didn't have great reception, and this was also the day before everyone had cell phones.
The day before everyone had cell phones.
Yeah, literally the day before. The days before.
Right.
Everyone got cell phones the next day. Danielle's father got the call that his daughter was in the hospital and was in critical condition. He grabbed a photo of her and his cell phone and started driving towards York Hospital. The whole way there, he was talking to the photo of her, telling her to be okay and that he loved her. Just like the saddest thing ever.
Manifesting.
Danielle's college roommate, Elizabeth, that I mentioned earlier, and her father also headed to the hospital. She and Danielle had met the first day of orientation, and they clicked immediately. Danielle was described as kind and she was just as serious and excited about going to college as Elizabeth was. So they quickly became friends. When they got to the hospital, after learning about Daniel's and Danielle's injuries, no one believed that they were going to make it. It was a very emotional scene. Danielle's lower jaw had been shattered, and there was tremendous swelling in her face and in her head. As a result, she had gone into an induced coma, and she was nearly unrecognizable. During her healing, when she finally did wake up, she would wake up every 10 to 15 minutes screaming and pointing in different parts of the room. She was hallucinating and having horrible nightmares.
Oh.
Like, can you imagine? Like, poor girl.
PTSD.
Yeah. And, like, your body's trying to, like, recover and save itself and heal, but then you're still remembering bits of things and dreaming at the same time. Like, that would just be so fucked up. She was obviously hallucinating, and she would write down on pieces of paper or draw what she saw because her family was there, and they're like, what's going on? And she couldn't describe it to them because she couldn't talk. So she would draw it, and she would draw floating bodies in the air, bloody faces, like the most horrifying shit. I wrote in my notes, like, poor girl. Like, what else do you say to that? Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Daniel was in critical condition as well, and doctors were specifically concerned that a blood clot would form and cut off the oxygen to his brain because of where he was shot in his neck. He was awake, though, and he was really eager to help detectives if he could. He couldn't talk, so he wrote them a note and answered the questions the best that he could. It was very clear that every movement caused him immense pain, but he gave a perfect description of the person that had done this to them. So it was on, like, hospital legal pad.
Yeah.
So, like, not very legible, but, like, he tried.
I mean, that's just boy handwriting. Like, I can read it.
It's like,
drove
it's
by
boy
in truck
handwriting.
with dog. Drove by us. Like that's just boy handwriting. Yeah.
Boy handwriting.
Let dog out. Yeah.
On painkillers.
Not even. Like, that's what Jesse's handwriting looks like. That's boy handwriting. 101.
But yeah, he, like, signed and dated it at the bottom because he didn't think that he was gonna live, and that's, like, the saddest
he's
thing
like,
ever.
use this in court.
Yeah, it's the saddest thing ever. Dan described the perpetrator as being a white male, 35 to 45 years of age, blonde hair, very drunk. He had a brown hat, blue jeans, and black Nike high-top sneakers, which, like, who wears a brown hat? That's gross.
Who?
He described the weapon as a black semi-automatic pistol, and the dog, of course, a black Rottweiler, saying that his name was Sam. Daniel was able to provide information about the vehicle as being a beat-up red pickup truck with a white or gray cap. He described items in the back of the truck to include a toolbox, an aluminum baseball bat, various other rubbish. Police were on the move immediately and able to determine who their guy was. William Babner had already had a few run-ins with the law. He owned a pickup truck and a Rottweiler. They brought back a photo lineup, including William Babner's photo, to the hospital and showed Daniel. He started frantically pointing to the picture of William Babner. He looked absolutely terrified, and he could not speak, but he kept pointing to the photo over and over again with his eyes wide.
So, is he a serial killer?
William Babner?
Yeah, you said the police, like, already...
Oh, no. It was just, like, petty stuff.
Okay.
As far as what I saw, no, not a serial killer. But his behavior suggests such...
attempted killer?
Yeah, like, he sucks. Like... Who just attempts to kill two teenagers and then leaves them? Like, who does that? Police went to his home and learned his girlfriend's child was inside. So they knew
he has
that
a girlfriend with a child.
Apparently.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So they knew that the child would be leaving to go on the bus soon, so they decided to wait until the child was on the bus and down the road before apprehending William. So there was just like a SWAT team. I know. So there was just like a SWAT, because that's traumatizing. Like,
yeah. I mean, I hope I never do something where police think that I'm guilty of, enough where I need a SWAT team to come after me. But if they do, please wait for my children to be gone.
right?
So nice.
Right? I thought that was really nice too. So they waited. And then as soon as his girlfriend's son got on the bus and started to drive away, they went in, and William was shocked when they came inside and arrested him. Because he is human garbage, William would not admit to his guilt, and the investigative team had no choice but to bring him to trial because of his crimes. They really wanted to avoid this, seeing as Danielle and Daniel were both so traumatized, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But they were willing to take him down with whatever method that took. The trial took place 6 months later. William did not testify. He had no witnesses. He just sat there. He was arrogant and smug, and it was almost like he wanted Danielle and Daniel to re-experience his fear and torment all over again. It was almost like his way of punishing them because they had survived. They both managed to testify, but it was very emotional. When the two of them spoke, the courtroom was so quiet you could hear a pin drop, was what their attorney described it as. It didn't take long for a jury to deliberate and find William Babner guilty on all counts, and he was convicted of kidnapping, rape, attempted murder, and he was sentenced to, be ready to be happy, 117 years.
Yes,
to
thank you.
235 years.
Yes.
And I wrote on my notes, I love this because so often attempted murders don't see charges like this, but he was a violent man, left them for dead, and committed this crime for seemingly no reason. So
yeah, most attempted murderers are violent men.
yeah, it's like 10 years. It's like, what?
Yeah. Try again next time, buddy.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get your chance again. Like, I don't understand the justice system, so I was really happy to see that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Danielle truly believes that Daniel saved her life. She couldn't swim with her injuries, and he held on to her. She was unconscious, and he identified William in a photo lineup, like in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And he was found because of the descriptions and the memory that Daniel had. He was constantly thinking and taking notes of his surrounding during the, abduction and the attack. After the attack, their romantic relationship was not the same. Their trauma was too severe, and being around each other felt like bringing up the past every time.
Yeah.
And they eventually parted ways.
Blame it. Yeah.
Going back to school was really the hard part for both of them. How do you go back to normal after something like that?
Yeah.
Danielle continued to have night terrors and really struggled to be around men that she did not know. One day at a quote-unquote Take Back the Night event on campus for Danielle, women were telling their stories about rape survival, and she actually went up to speak, even though none of her friends thought that she would or even expected her to.
This is in this is in Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I remember there was the Take Back the Night in England with the Yorkshire Ripper when we covered that recap. So
I think that people all over are taking back the night, which I love.
Yes, do it.
So none of her friends or family expected her to do so. They were just there to, be supportive of other women.
Right.
She told the whole story. And she felt after this that it no longer defined her. She was able to let go of it a little bit, which is amazing. And while continuing his degree, Daniel met Elizabeth Burma on campus, and the two of them fell in love. They got married in 2017. And I will say, this is a different Elizabeth than Danielle's roommate, because Danielle says that Elizabeth is perfect for him, and that she was really patient and helped him to heal. Her roommate also said Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth, introduced Danielle to a man named Kevin McGuire, and they hit it off right away. We love a Kevin. He asked Danielle on a date, and she of course said yes. And only a couple months later, Kevin and Danielle were engaged.
Oh.
They were married in October of 2005, and Danielle gave birth to their daughter Alecia on February 7th, 2008. After college, Dan and Danielle reconnected, and they are great friends to this day.
Good.
Right? And this is going to make you cry, maybe.
Oh, God.
They feel that their souls are connected after that day, and that they are closer because of it. Their families have become friends as well. Right? Today, Danielle is a social worker, and Dan/Daniel is getting his PhD in psychology. That is the incredible no murder survival story of Danielle McGuire and Daniel Zapp.
Oh.
And I think it's really cute. I'm going to show you a photo here.
Oh.
So that is Danielle, and that is Daniel. And then that is his wife, Elizabeth, and her husband, Kevin, and their daughter.
So sweet.
And then
it was only their second date. It's not like it's weird or anything.
Not at all.
That's
They're just
amazing.
They feel like their friends are just... That's a picture of them the day of the attack. Or like a couple of days before the attack.
Yeah.
Dan and Danielle. Really cute though, right? Like, I don't blame them. But I kind of love so much that they're like friends still. And that their family is friends. Like, that's very unique to me. So,
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's definitely like, again, it's only the second date. Yes, she was like, oh my God, I love you. But it was like,
I thought you were gonna die.
love you as a human. Yeah, not as like my spouse. Like, I don't even know you that well. But as a human being, like, yeah, they have this connection. And I love that they called each other like their souls are connected. Yeah. Because, like, I mean,
they both went through like almost dying.
Yes, and everyone's like, "Oh, my soulmate in my past life is my soulmate." Like I can't find a soulmate now because soulmate in my past life. You know, like there's different reasons for your souls to be related. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, that has nothing to do with a romantic relationship.
No. I love
she
that.
can still find.
And I also get why they like could not keep their romantic relationship after that. Like, they almost died and they were both very traumatized. Like, I get that. I mean, who knows what would have happened had this not happened, but everything happens for a reason, so. Yeah, I love it. Like, they speak very highly of each other. They go for walks every week. Like, so many cute things came of, like, them being a part of this documentary, and, like, their families are really good friends. Like, I love that. That's, like, such a unique situation, so. But yeah, Sierra, what day is it today before we roll on out of here?
Today is June 28th, and on this day, in 1820.
Oh, shit. So just, like, a little bit ago.
A little bit. Like 100 years, give or take, too. Tomatoes were proven... Wait, okay, hang on. Give or take 22, right? Is that what I meant? 1920, 2020. 200 years, give or take 2. That's what I meant. Sorry, I didn't want to sound stupid. Tomatoes were proven to be not poisonous when Colonel Robert Gibbon ate one on the courthouse steps in Salem, New Jersey.
I didn't know they were poisonous.
Yeah, before this, Europeans specifically believed tomatoes to be poisonous.
What?
Many other cultural and ethnic groups were eating tomatoes and were just fine. But Europeans, when they ate them, people would get sick and die. Turns out that the rich Europeans were just eating them on fancy lead plates. The acid in the tomato reacted with the lead and caused lead poison in people who ate them. So in 1820, Robert Gibbon finally showed the Europeans, old Europeans, now Americans, that they were safe to eat tomatoes as long as they didn't do it on those fancy lead plates.
Shit, that's crazy.
Interesting, huh?
I was going to say
tomatoes.
I love tomatoes too. I was going to say, are they just really wanting not everyone to discover tomatoes? They're like, these are mine.
Sissy
can't
eats
eat
a tomato
them.
like an apple. Like
that's
she
weird.
just bites into a tomato. Yeah, tomatoes are good.
They're delicious.
But yeah, Europeans were way too fancy for, they saw the Native Americans and these people and that people eating tomatoes. And they're like, these idiots, they're going to die. We do it all the time and we die. And then
maybe just
one
stop
ti-
using
I-
lead.
right? A European who was actually an American now was like, guys, listen. Those Brits over there are kind of dumb as shit. We can eat these as long as we don't put them on those plates.
Somebody figured it out.
Then we ate them. Yeah.
I love old-timey facts because it's like, how did you figure that out?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the onion thing. Like, who the fuck cut an onion and was like, I'm crying right now, but I still want to eat it?
That was
Like,
like
who?
18 fun facts ago, Sierra. Come on.
Well, I mean, this has been a question in my mind for forever. Like, I just want to know who ate the first tomato.
Let us know.
I mean, not tomato, sorry. Who
Onion.
ate the first onion? Yes.
Somebody let us know your theories, because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
There's no way to know for sure, but you can speculate wildly.
My theory is that they ate it next to the water, and the water made you not cry. Because every time, thank you, TikTok Factor Cap, every time I cut an onion now, I put a wet paper towel next to it because
I totally
onions
forgot about this
draw water, and if there's no wet paper towel, it'll draw it from your eyes, and that's what makes you cry.
I've just been cutting onions like this for the last little bit.
How do you see what you're cutting and not cut your fingers off?
I don't cut my fingers, but
Not yet.
it's really a gamble at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good
Wet paper
fact.
towel.
Yeah, go back
Or
and listen to I
Cut
think
your onions by the ocean.
episode 17. Yeah, just have a water source
keep on
near you.
Onions by the ocean. Thank you, Joe.
Our good pal Joe Jonas, listener of the show.
Yes.
But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. Cut your onions by the ocean. Send us your survival stories and your
And don't
wine
eat tomatoes on lead.
recommendations. Yeah, don't do that. Don't eat anything on lead. Let's just let that be the fact. Because lead paint was a thing for a long time and made people
A
feel
long
sick
time.
when they were trying to remodel their houses all innocently. So don't do that either. And we love you lots. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave those reviews, write in your listener stories, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode. In the meantime,
Keep it twisted.
Thank you for listening to Twisted and Uncorked Podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can also check out all of our sources and materials, as well as photos for the episode, on our website at twistedanduncorked.com. And you can follow us on social media at Twisted and Uncorked or Twisted_pod on Twitter. Thank you so much for all of your love and support, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode. Cheers!